Beginning. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Focus for Football podcasts. Today, I'm joined with Aaron Jones, Fountains goalkeeper.
Right, mate.
All right, mate. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. I'm also joined with, and he's got about 1 million jobs, so I'll let him introduce himself. Andy Rusco.
Hi, Ethan. Thanks for inviting me on the show. It's lovely to meet you again, and it's lovely to meet you too, Aaron. Obviously, we had a chat behind the scenes as well. You're Fountains number one. You did fantastic the other week, and against FC United Wrexham. So yeah, I'm just really grateful to be on the show and obviously speak our opinions of what we're speaking about tonight, which I'll let you introduce, Stephen.
Awesome, thank you very much. Right, this week, if I just turn the light on, this week we're going to be looking at two different teams. So last week we had Joe Folks on and Aaron. We spoke about Liverpool. Last week, less than 4 hours record this one, and it's already on reviews. Today on the cast, come on, stand. I think it was the winner, but so I got 2 people. My only hope today,
on David De Gea. I think he's been fantastic for United over the last year, but I'm just not impressed with it, the way he takes the crosses, and sometimes I think his distribution is suspect. I think he gets away with it because the Manchester United players get him out of danger. I think a lot of people disagree with that, but again, I do feel it's a bit weak. But obviously the keeper I've gone for, and I'm a Man United fan, by the way. So De Gea is always going to live in the shadow of Peter Schmeichel for me. But the keeper I went for this case was Alisson, because the lad's like a crossbreed between Manuel Neuer and like Ederson, you know, and Peter Schmeichel as well, all mixed in one. The guy can go high line. He comes and takes crosses, which is quite unusual if you watch most of the modern day goalkeepers in the Premier League these days. And his shot stopping. Whereas David De Gea I think something came into when we watched Man United Liverpool last season, and David De Gea pulled off a save, and the commentators went, "What a fantastic save!" because he made the save in between, by the post with his foot. Yet Alisson did the exact same save, but he did it with the traditional hands and dive save. Yet no one really complimented him, and the distance and the pace of the ball was no different to what it was on the shot. And yet David De Gea was classed as this world-class keeper for it, because he pulled off something that people are not used to. Whereas Alisson does the same basics, and he does it more simplified. Yet he didn't get the respect that probably David De Gea would have got. And personally, for me, I think Alisson is just top notch, and I just much prefer the lad.
I also went with David De Gea. You know, based on this season, I think De Gea has been world class for Manchester United, finding his form again. Me being a goalkeeper, you know, I've watched both keepers. You know, David De Gea to be struggling and to come back trying to find his form again, which it's coming. I think he's doing very well, because, you know, as soon as it's all in your head, you're not playing well, you've got to sort of find your form again to make everyone realise that you're a good goalkeeper again. But yeah, I think United wouldn't be where we are now in the Premier League and stuff like that if we didn't have De Gea, to be honest. I think if we had a different keeper, would be lower than we are. I think he's done amazing for us this season. It's like I said on the other podcast the other day, I think Alisson's been amazing for Liverpool as well this season. I said exactly the same that I said about De Gea. No, both of the teams wouldn't be where they are without their goalkeepers. You know, we're talking about 2 world-class goalkeepers to put in one team. You know, De Gea's done it over a longer period. In my eyes, De Gea's done it seasons before. He's had a flop, and now he's coming back again. And for me, Alisson has had 2 good seasons with Liverpool, and I think he is a world-class goalkeeper. But I think if we need someone to rely on and make the big saves, I think we've got to put De Gea in our squad.
I see your point on the consistency. I see the point that he's had his ups and downs, but when it comes to the big saves, I still think Alisson does the bread and butter saves. I think De Gea pulls. I think he glamorizes some of the saves personally. Like I said, I reflect on that save with his leg in midair in comparison to what Alisson does. I just do think he glamorizes it way too much. And like I said, Alisson's distribution in comparison to De Gea is much better. And I think Alisson's general reading of the game is he's like a second sharper than David De Gea. You can't deny David De Gea hasn't been fantastic for Manchester United, and he's brought out, he's helped United get results. But put Alisson in Man United's team, I think Man United go up again.
I can see where you're coming from, Andy. In my eyes at the moment, I think if Alisson was in a United's back line, we'd look at it completely differently. I think you look at Alisson now, and he makes some amazing saves. He's very much, he's very much shielded by Van Dijk, Matip, Trent, Robinson. They've got a solid back line. I just think De Gea has to prove himself more than Alisson at the moment. So
you've also got to look at it teams on form. Liverpool are on form. United are nowhere near the form they are on. When United were at top form, De Gea was making the saves he's making now with the poor form. It's like I said, I think if we did put Alisson in United's team, I do think there'd be a big difference and we'd be talking about it a different way. But I think if we put De Gea in Liverpool's squad, I think he'd be, just as good as Alisson, because he'd have a better back line in front of him. So the distribution that Andy said, where coming out for the crosses, I think he wouldn't have to worry about it as much, because you've got your likes of Virgil van Dijk, your Joel Matip in front of you winning the aerial headers. But he's sort of relying on Harry Maguire and Lindelof or Varane when he's fit to make the distributions for him to not do it. I think I've watched him a lot there. That's how I became a goalkeeper, watching him a lot. I thought he was really good in his prime. I just you see him when he's one-on-one, you don't see him come off his line until the player's actually in the box. I just think De deserves to be in this squad.
Right, well, I'm afraid we are out of time for this one. So, Andy, you've been outvoted.
That's fine.
We're going to throw De Gea in there. We're going to move.
I don't mind.
On.
I'm still United player.
We're going to move straight on to Van Dijk's partnership at the back. Who are we going for centre back?
Well, I've gone because I've looked at complementing his physical presence and his height, and I've gone for Lindelof because I think the lad's got really, really good pace, and I think he reads the game really well. I like the way he tackles, and he just seems a bit more consistent. I really wanted to go with probably Eric Bailly, but he's always injured. So I think, and so I'm looking from a consistent point of view. And I just think Lindelof would, he'd sweep up what Van Dijk did miss, which he would not miss anyway. I think that he's a good ball player as well, and I just like everything about what Lindelof does. In all fairness,
yeah, I think Van Dijk's just world class. I think you're looking at the best starting lineup in the world. I think he'd be in it anyway. the way I've looked at it is there a defender at the moment that's in as good a form as Matip? I really think Matip is on par with Van Dijk at the moment. Yeah, he hasn't done it consistently, but just looking at this season, I think Matip's got to be in there.
See, I went a different defender with both of you two. I went for if he was fit and if he was playing how he was at Real Madrid, I reckon we could stick a Varane and Van Dijk in a squad together, and we wouldn't have to worry about anything.
I thought about Varane myself, and I thought,
obviously, I did want to put Eric Bailly because I think he's class, but it's the same reason why you didn't put him in, is because he's not fit. He's always injured.
Yeah, I think Varane for me he fell into the Eric Bailly situation for me. He's injury prone. The lad's got prestigious titles. He's clearly world class as a defender, but you don't know if he's going to be there week in, week out. And so again, that's why I've gone for a bit of, for me, a bit of consistency. I do think I disagree with Matip being just as good as Van Dijk, because I think whoever you put next to Van Dijk, they're going to come off as looking really good because of Van Dijk's presence and the way he plays the ball about, and he probably and his communication. You can see that supports the other defender.
If Matip makes a mistake, Van Dijk's always there to cover up the mistake. And you watch most Liverpool games. This last month, he was absolutely outstanding, Matip. But like any other time, Van Dijk is picking up the mistakes he's doing. So I think, or it's either Van Dijk or Alisson picking up the mistakes he has been doing. But yeah, I agree with Andy more than I do Ethan on the centre back Lindelof. I do think he's been playing well recently for Manchester United. But yeah, obviously Liverpool. There's going to be a lot more players than Liverpool players than United in this squad. So I say just we all agree on Lindelof and let's move on to the next one.
I don't have a clear spelling, but we'll go with that. Close enough. We know what it is. Right.
That's right.
Right back. I am massively confused how there's even a debate here.
No,
surely it's got to be Trent.
No, it's obvious. It's obvious that you're saying Trent. It's obvious where everyone's getting confused because I put Wan-Bissaka for myself. I just like the way the lad gets at people, and he's brave in going into the 1v1s. He overlaps really well. Don't get me wrong, I think his final ball is sometimes suspect, but I just think the lad's pace and his legs are like spaghetti. They get around people so easy as well in the tackle. And I suppose that's because of the futsal background in me as well. So I just think there's something about Wan-Bissaka. I'm like, it's him all day for me. I just think that he.
See, I also went with Trent, but I would have put Dalot over Aaron Wan-Bissaka anyway. I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka hasn't been playing at all this season for Man United, and there must be a reason why. Dalot has been class for the games he's been playing, but Trent, he's one of the world's best right backs. We've got to have him in the squad.
I think it's got to come down to
I think it's definitely overruled on that one.
You look at Trent every single week. He's doing it. He's just there.
Surprised with it, Diogo Dalot as well, though, because I didn't realise how young he is still. I think was he 22? Is he? He's 21. He was signed as a really young age.
He is really young.
Yeah, I was very surprised when I saw that stat the other week. But yeah, I'm still born Wan-Bissaka, but I'm overruled. I know I'm overruled on this one.
Yeah, we're back in Trenton. I'm not a Liverpool fan. I don't like Liverpool, but I can't argue Trent. He's just amazing.
I just think Wan-Bissaka's pace would complement what I've gone for from a synchronized aspect. But no, listen, Trent's still a good player. Put him in.
Right, we've got an interesting left-back debate here, and we're going to try and speed it up a little bit. And I'm going to throw it straight out there. I think Shaw should be in here.
I'm bought with Luke Shaw.
I think you look at what he done in the Euros, look what he done for United at the start of the season. I think he's one of the most underrated left backs in the world.
And by the way, when he puts his weight on, he's still as quick as ever as well. He's great at getting attacking teams. It's just his vision is really good. He can actually ping the ball, and he can defend. He's just, for me, he is absolutely fantastic. I'm bought by him and what he did for England in the Euros, and what he done at the beginning of the season for Manchester United. He's just fantastic. I just love the player to bits, and I think he should be probably in Ralph's plans. You know why? He meets that pressing style game as well, but soon to be. Hopefully things will come out soon. What's going on there?
Well, so the United fan here.
So I'm a United fan, but I've gone with Robertson. Based on this season, and Robertson, he's been class for Liverpool. He can't really do much for his country because he's obviously Scottish. And you name me one good Scottish player. The first player you're thinking of is Robertson. He's such a good left back, and I think he is highly overrated. But I do think he deserves to be in our squad. He's got every attribute like Luke Shaw. He can ping a ball. He's got the legs to make it up and down the pitch. He's ruthless with his challenges. You heard it in the game when he wants to win games clear. Like you could hear it in the Manchester United game when they were 5-0 up. He was telling his team to be ruthless. He wanted to score more goals. I just think whatever team Robertson would play for, he would play for the badge. That's why I put him in my team.
I'm going to counter that with the exact same thing you said about Matip. He's playing alongside Van Dijk. Van Dijk cleans up every mistake he makes.
Yeah, that's true.
And
the one thing,
in agreement with Roscoe, so we are chucking Shaw.
Yeah, I know. The reason I didn't put Luke Shaw is because he hasn't been playing this season. You haven't seen much about him. I did put Alex Telles down to start off with, and I was like, oh, better not. So I did put Robertson down.
Right, we'll move on to the defensive midfielder. Again,
I put Fabinho down.
Yeah, I didn't know how we didn't all agree on this. Fabinho has surely got to be in there.
No. I reflect on this one when I went to watch Bruno Fernandes's debut at Man United, and the way that lad got around was he rotated in every position going. And when he got into them positions, he could break the lines. He could ping that ball over the top, play around the corner. He did everything, and he was just everywhere in that midfield. And he got all the Manchester United. It was a draw against Wolves. It was last year or the year before now, before the COVID hit. And I think what you don't see on the camera is more important when it comes to Bruno. I don't think the cameras give him the true reflection of what the lad actually does in the team. He's just pure energy. He's defensive minded. He's attacking minded. He rotates left. He rotates right. And the players respond to him really, really well. He's just pure energy. And I think a lot of the players, except for one that we will speak about in a minute, but there was a reason why I didn't go for that one. But it's pure energy in the team. That's what I like. And Bruno brings pure energy for me. I just think the lad's got more of a success pathway as well.
I do think like it depends what formation we're playing realistically. If we're playing with a holding midfield or if we're playing with an attacking. If we're playing with an attacking, even if we're not playing with an attacking, Bruno Fernandes is going to be in our midfield. I just think if we are a holding midfielder, we need the likes of a Fabinho. He's good on the ball. He's good defensively. He can find a good pass. I think if we're after an attacking midfielder, Bruno Fernandes all day. For defensive, Fabinho.
Because I would have put Bruno in there as an attacking. So we'll stick Bruno attacking.
Yeah, that's what I've done. I thought we were playing. Yeah, that's what I've done. I've put Bruno Fernandes and then as a central attacking midfielder.
We'll do that then. Who's your two midfielders?
Well,
so
go on.
I've gone with Fabinho, Bruno Fernandes, and Thiago.
I've got Thiago.
I've gone with them three.
I've got Bruno. And I've gone really left field, and I've gone with Fred.
Fred. Oh, McFred.
You've got to admit.
He's awful.
Fred
is awful.
He is a player that gets so much scrutiny, yet he does so much for Manchester United. I genuinely believe if they didn't have Fred like the start of this season, end of last season, they wouldn't be where they are now.
No, I'm not bought Fred. He's not consistent. He won't. Sometimes he doesn't even track back. He's lazy. He'll pull off this like Neymar style flick on, which we obviously seen the other day, which set the goal on. But then he'll just like can't even pass the ball 2 yards. He's not for me. Fred. I go in with Roy Keane. He's awful. He's got to go. That's it. Yeah. Fred's got to go. Why did Ollie trust him? I do not. Well, I kind of know why, because he thinks he's got energy, but no, he gives away too much. I'm not bought on him. So the ones I went with Sancho, because I think that lad really come into his own now. He's not giving much away of the ball. He's good at energy. But the one that was a bit more flat back for me in that midfield, because again, we didn't talk about defensive midfields. We said 4-3-3. So it's how you see it. But I like a midfield to rotate anyway. But Milner, because Milner would complement my striker with the first time crosses. Milner'd get it, and he would get that cross to the man that made a career out of scoring goals from first-time crosses at Real Madrid. And Milner, for me, does that for me. And what a veteran for his age. The guy came into the game 16 years old, Leeds United, and he's gone on to one of all the best clubs except for the club that I support. And do you know what? More fool Manchester United for not getting that gentleman. He can also transition into a right back as well when Wan-Bissaka is out of position in his little role as well. So Milner, for me, he does everything.
Right. Well, we're a bit of a stalemate here.
I think Milner doesn't get talked about because you don't see him as much playing for Liverpool. He normally comes on as a sub. But yeah, I honestly I think James Milner is a great player. Especially with his age, he's still doing it now. He's still looking
class. He's class.
Like he was when he was 16. If we're playing the 4-4-3, I think we need to have Bruno Fernandes, Fabinho, and either Thiago or Milner, so that they can provide the first time pass to our striker.
The striker, and we know. Well, I knew my striker is on that one, and I tell you now, Milner would pick him out, and that looping header would be straight in the net. Not even Alisson, and I'm supporting Alisson, by the way, here, would not even save it.
These are the two that I reckon we're agreeing on the most. How's that look? Thiago,
yeah, I'm happy with that.
I think Thiago. I think. Looking at that, he's going to attack. So. Okay, you've gone with that. You've gone like that. Okay, that's fine. I'm cool with that.
The reason being, Andy, I agreed with you with Sancho, but I've put him up here.
You put him on that. You put him in the left top. I know what you're doing there. Yeah. I see. That's where I'm disagreeing with you.
I just think
See,
his age, what he's done.
I was in two minds. Oh, mate.
Well, so if we're talking about the left side flank then of that top three, I do not know how you could not have him in there. The lad is like playing still like a 28-year-old. He's just a natural goal scorer. I think he needs a bit more freedom where he's not getting, because I think he is out of position, even though he is probably best suited up there for Manchester United at this moment in time. But he needs that freedom role where he can cheat when he wants to, and so on, and drift out from the wideness area. Is Cristiano? Cristiano needs to be up there. And like I said, I look at Milner, first time cross, Ronaldo on the outside wide of that box. I can see it in my head now. Goal all day, bang bang, and everyone will be going, "Wow, that's amazing." Milner spot on crosser. Ronaldo the best header of the game for me.
Yeah, I think
in the team, bang.
I think with Mane being on the left and Luke Shaw being on the left, I think Luke Shaw would make them overlapping runs, getting on the side, playing the ball back into Mane, and Mane getting a shot off. I think Mane deserves to be in this squad, and obviously we'll get to the strikers.
Yeah, well, Mane for me would have been like the more of a, in that three, the whole. See again, I've gone with he would be that cam type of the three in that central position to free up Salah on that right hand side as well. So that again, Bruno Fernandes, because I know he could rotate, and I know Mane could probably, it's got the energy to get back as well. I just think that midfield would be so fluid, it'd be amazing. And Milner would just, like I said, move that ball on quicker. I just think it'd be like the old Man United, personally, of when you had like Beckham playing a really class ball. You'd have Giggsy very fluid in that midfield. You had Scholes who would drift back as well. I just think, for me, Mane plays in that camish role. Salah is where he is for there, but it's Ronaldo on that left all day.
How are you going with?
I'll go Mane, mate.
Mane? See, I still back in Sancho. I think Mane should be up front.
No, I'm going to change it. I think Rusco, did you say Ronaldo on the left?
Yeah, Ronaldo on the left.
I'm gonna put Ronaldo on the left as well, and I've just thought of an absolute wildy of a striker to play my striker position.
I'm not even putting Ronaldo. I can't. I think he's been world class for years, but I think he's been nothing but useless this year. As good as Lukaku.
He scores goals, mate. He can't. How is CR7 useless this season? He shouldn't even be in that top role anyway. He's not that type of striker. He's got one on the left hand side flank that can cheat when everything's going on. Everyone gets behind that ball, wins the ball back, and he just drifts, pulls out wide, gets the ball to him, long ball, whatever. Luke Shaw, someone plays it to him, and then he gets out and attacks the player into the 1v1 and either creates the goal or pulls out players. And someone like Salah, who would have been like Ruud van Nistelrooy back in the day, Louis Saha, they would love him because he's got such a great pass succession as well. And like I said, I just think Rooney for that matter, Ronaldo's not that man up there as up top. And if he's doing that, getting them goals, he needs to be in a front three for me, or a top two.
Yeah, maybe. So, I just think he's not done what he should have done this season.
Well, I think there's too much high expectation on one man up there, in that one. We're looking at Miles teams.
Yeah, I have noticed, like, personally, I obviously had to pick one man, Sancho or Ronaldo, and obviously I'm going to go with the legend as Ronaldo. But this season, I think of the likes of Bruno Fernandes, he's missing it because he's not been as good as he was the seasons before us because Ronaldo's come in, and Ronaldo's he sort of takes like a manager's role on the pitch. It's like a manager who's on the pitch. So I think Bruno hasn't had the freedom to show his full potential again this season because of Ronaldo.
Nani found that.
We're going to leave Ronaldo in there because we're running out of time.
Cristiano.
I'm going to put it off there then. Are we all agreeing on Mane at striker?
Handy Manny's definitely there. Then
I'm going to throw a name in the mix. You and all can agree and all disagree. I'm going to say this man. He's done it in PSG. He's done it in United. I'm going to go with Edison Cavani. Give him a header. He can score a header. He can score one with his left. He can score one with his right. He can volley a goal. He's a great poacher. He can do everything, that man. That's why I think he deserves to be in this team.
If you're going with Cavani, I'm going with Origi.
I can't go with both of them. In all fairness, we've got the only thing I would change in that dynamic is CR7 and Salah higher and Mane behind them, right? Because have a look at where he's being played, and Bruno drops behind the other two for now. And then but that would be as well is so if you pull Mane out of shape for me, pull Mane out of shape. Yeah. So he's out of shape there. Someone else will just come in. Bruno come in and filter in. All right, Mane, and then Mane goes and covers Milner, cover the back roll, and so on. But then that's me from a playing style point of view, and I think them guys will be able to master that really easily.
Right. Well,
but that's me.
We need a manager though.
Well, there's only one manager.
How have we all disagreed on him? How have you who's disagreed on this manager?
I didn't read everyone's manager one. So are we all agreeing on Klopp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Jurgen though. I actually met him at Chester FC when they brought him down, and you know what? The guy is so calm. He's got really bright, shiny teeth, by the way, white as hell. And he's just got this really good aura and nature about him. He's not, everything you see on the telly and the way on his interviews, he's that in real life. His conversations are slow and perfected. He's methodical, but he brings love. Now, obviously, I've been Prestatyn Town's manager this season, and I think one of the things that I was always conscious of, and I'm always this whenever I take a team on, is that you bring positivity and love to the team, and you give your players, some people don't like this because of safeguarding issues and stuff like that these days, but hugs. And I think we're in a world that's getting desensitized. Yeah, that man goes out there, he works on the respect element, give the fans the love, gets his players big hugs, high fives, his communication's fantastic, and he knows when to kick him up the ass and get angry, but it's the love for me. And people won't do that. Some managers, like someone like Conte, as much as I like the way he orchestrates himself on the sideline, it's love. Louis van Gaal was poor because he didn't give love. David Moyes fails because he didn't give love. And I think Ralph looks like, as much as he speaks a good game and has a bit of compassion sometimes in his voice, he doesn't give the love and the hugs. And I tell you now, and I know this firsthand, you give that to a player and they will go through brick walls for you. And every single player at Liverpool, and hence why I didn't go with the back four that we spoke about, like Trent and that, I don't think, and Callum Robertson, even though they are good players, I think they would have the Alex Ferguson syndrome. They would become poor if Jurgen Klopp was not manager. Because this is what happened at Manchester United when Moyes went in, Ferguson left, and everyone dropped their barriers. I think he is the guy that raises that team by 25%.
Yeah.
And it's because of his nature. Yeah. And it's because they play for him. He motivates them. He gives them love. He tells them off.
Let's say this was a team on next season. United. Who do you reckon United's manager will be?
Tuchel.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Ten Hag's been touted out. Pacino. But I'm not bought on any of these managers. I'm just really not really bought. But then I'm a bit surprised while Ralph hasn't stepped up to the mark. He had a January, he's going to train the brain, bring players in, get rid of players who are bad eggs, like Martial did that. But he didn't bring one player in that's going to match his style. Why? So, but then I don't know who is a good manager out there at this moment in time. The only guy for me, and we're never going to get him, is Jurgen Klopp. I suppose Southgate could be a good one. I think he brings that little bit of love to it as well. He's got a good aura about him. But I don't know. As a Manchester United fan, and it's sick as me to say this, I'm a very jealous Manchester United fan, and it's not because of the Liverpool team. I don't think that Liverpool team is as special as everyone makes out.
I'm afraid
it is one man for me, and that one man is Jurgen Klopp.
I'm gonna have to cut you off because we are out of time. It's gonna end in 1 minute.
Okay, so thanks.
So what we'll do is go into the comments. Comment down below who you think United's next manager will be. And without that, thank you for joining. There's our United Liverpool starting lineup.
Brilliant.
Next time,
thanks tonight, guys. Lovely.
Cheers, that guys. Speak to you in a bit.
See you now. Good night, lads.
See you soon.